referees for today's game, Carmen John Domenico, David St. Hubbins, and Nigel Tufnell, who thinks the scoreboard goes to 11. Brand now feeling it, shot goal! If there's a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it. Bob, can you tell me what the score is?
We are not at deuces, and that was a very nifty shot.
And thanks for joining us on the Kelly Associates Game of the Week presented by FCA Lacrosse. Today we find ourselves on the campus of Loyola Blakefield. Welcome, I'm Booker Corrigan, joined by longtime MIAA head coach Bob Schreiber. Coach, St. Paul's, this is their first MIAA regular season game. What do you like about the Crusaders?
The challenge that they've played so far this year, they've had an incredible preseason. Lost to Hill, Culver, and Malvern Prep, or excuse me, Haverford, which is obviously all challenging games. Coach Woody wanted to dip his toe into the water, and he did it big time. So MIA games he's clearly prepared for.
And you referenced Trey Whitty. This is his first season as the St. Paul's head coach, taking over for Rick Bricado. On the other side, the Dons, they're hosting for the first time this year. What have you learned about them?
Well, same thing. They've also played a very challenging schedule. They lost to Hill and Malvern Prep, but the big one was Tuesday. They got upset by Archbishop Spalding in their first MIAA game, which most people would say is very unusual.
And for St. Paul's, the visiting Crusaders, they bring in some stars. Who are the ones you want us to watch today?
Well, we'll start with all three guys are captains of the team, but we'll start with number 2, Nick Hapney. Nick's a defenseman, big, strapping guy, tall. He's been a stalwart on their defense for the last 3 years. In the midfield, Logan Zimnock. Terrific player, tremendous athlete. He can get to the goal with either hand. He's been fighting some injuries. And then number 7 is one of those unsung heroes on St. Paul's. Aiden Carey is the short stick defensive midfielder who Coach Whitty thinks is arguably their best player.
And leave it to a long-time head coach to highlight a short stick D midi, but that speaks to the quality and level of play that young man has. Let's talk about the host Dons. Who are some guys to look out for?
They got a couple 4-year starters. We'll start with number 4, Liam Bateman. He's been on the varsity for 4 years. He's a terrific midfielder, good size, left-handed. Then we jump, to number 7, Ryan Dunn, who really came on last year at attack. He's also a kid with good size who's left-handed. And then Alex Reed's, along with Liam, been on this team for 4 years, number 15 in the middle of the field. But I've heard they play him some at attack as well, and he's been a terrific player all 4 years.
And Bob, before we leave the open here, who's your favorite Loyola Don lacrosse player?
Well, they got about 41 of them, but I was told to pick number 31. His name's Cole Corrigan. Do you know him?
I do happen to know him quite well. This is the Game of the Week. He's Bob Schreiber. I'm Booker Corrigan. We're going to have a great afternoon because the sun is shining.
Kelly & Associates Insurance Group and Kelly Payroll helps employers and employees save time, money, and hassle in navigating the intricacies of insurance, benefits, payroll, and workforce challenges. Kelly & Associates Insurance Group and Kelly Payroll is pleased to support CSE TV and the Game of the Week. Visit kellyway.com to put their people, technology, and services to work for you.
The Fellowship of Christian Athletes engages their coaches and athletes to grow their faith through sport. Make sure you investigate the amazing camp at Lebanon Valley College this July. The FCA has camps, clinics, huddles, teams. Learn more about the Fellowship of Christian Athletes by going to fcalax.com.
Coach Trey Whitty of the St. Paul's Crusaders, an alum, and it is his first MIAA regular season game as head coach. And of course, Ben Rubiart for the host Dons. St. Paul's in their road darks, Loyola in white on white. And St. Paul's takes the first possession. This is the Kelly & Associates MIAA Game of the Week presented by FCA Lacrosse. Number 9, Troy Barthelme, doing a nice job carrying for the Crusaders, and he pushes along. This is Mila Moose. Moose rolls back, pushes it above. And Logan Zimnock, a guy you highlighted in the open, Bob. I like his game.
Nice trail check. Just dropped the stick out there a little bit.
This is Moose. Moose right-hand shot, never made it. Ball pinballs around the crease area. And starting goaltender for the Dons, Brighton Lorber, comes up with possession. And the Dons now clear. This is Ryan Dunn, number 7 for the Dons.
And Alex Reed, Booker, we said earlier, he plays both midfield and attack. They're starting Alex 15 on attack. He's playing with number 6, Colin Hume, and Ryan Dunn, and this is their first midfield, a talented group. Bateman, Chorus, just a sophomore. Number 4 is Bateman, 14.
And this is Reed behind.
Jack Chorus, another sophomore.
Reed gets it up top to Bateman, and now it's Bresci. Alex Bresci, little split left to right. Pass knocked down by Caples. Andrew Caples, a monster, but a diagonal pass across, and the Dons regain possession. Number 14, Jack Chorus, just a sophomore. This is going to be over and back. It'll be St. Paul's possession. And you see the wisdom of senior Liam Bateman just getting into the hole in that scenario. Great check by a bunch of Don defenders as Chorus now gets back. No fouls so far. And a nifty little bunch of stick handling right there, Bob. Wouldn't you say that was pretty nifty?
That was. Number 24, great play. Defensive midi, Spencer Hall for St. Paul's. Comes up with that ground ball in traffic. Nice play. Coach Woody with a possession timeout, trying to keep the ball even. 2 minutes and 17 seconds into the game. He's already burning the timeout. He values possession that much.
And it's a tempo thing. And do you remember your first game as a head coach in the MIAA? It was the MSA then, obviously.
You know, I really don't.
You don't remember who you played? I remember we played Severn and lost.
It's a great question. I really don't know. But when I started, there was only 5 teams in the MIAA at that time, or the MSA, excuse me. So I would have played Gilman, St. Paul's, Calvert Hall, or Loyola.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Was it a horse and buggy ride? If it was a road game, did you ride in a Conestoga wagon?
Well, everybody, we had Model Ts taking the team.
They came in any color you wanted, as long as it was black. St. Paul's possession here. They come out with number 22, Cole Ament.
Cole was a little fire plug with a real good, hard shot. You could get to the goal.
Bartholomew now right wing.
He's about 6'7". Somebody said they think he's the tallest lacrosse player ever to play the A Conference.
Crusaders look to make something happen. Moose now inverted, and he gets it back. This is Zimnock. Now it's Bartholomew. Bartholomew, outside roll, comes back up for a redodge.
Good defense. Number 12, Andrew Florenzo, captain of the team, senior.
Chase Llewellyn for Loyola, playing some nice short stick D midi, as well as Connor Hume.
Another trail check on Zimnock. It's the second time that's happened.
And we're going to push on St. Paul's. It's going to be Loyola possession. And this is Parker Keeney.
I don't know this for sure, but I'm assuming that Parker Keeney is related to retiring athletic director Mike Keeney. Maybe it's his grandson or a nephew.
We might just go son. You don't want to assume a guy's that old.
Well,
yeah.
Will comes right back with his first midfield. There's Bresci, who
Bresci,
we're talking about. Very, very, very fast, Bresci.
Was he forced to stumble there? I mean, is that a
It looks like
potential flag? Who knows? Here's Bateman. Bateman, left-handed, shot, goal. Liam Bateman. Bringing it, slinging it, stinging it.
Talked about Liam at the pregame. He's been on the varsity 4 years. He's a big, strapping left-hander, and he gets down the hash marks, as we like to say. Gets his hands free. Just a little stutter step. Nice pick there. Kind of a bad slide by St. Paul's.
Starting goaltender for the Crusaders, number 29, Jamie Grant, just a sophomore.
I watched Jamie play a couple weeks ago against Culver and thought he really had a very, very good game.
Safe to say that he, as a sophomore, and his head coach, Trey Whitty, had little nerves before the first game? A little anxious. You just want to see how it turns out. Ground ball pickup on the face-off win. Will Whitstadt doing a nice job. Whitstadt has really come of age as a face-off guy here in the A Conference. You cannot fake it in the A Conference as a face-off guy. You will get exposed.
This is another short stick defensive midi, Ryan Lancaster. St. Paul's good ride, trying to keep him out of this box.
And for Lancaster, oh, look
nice
at
play by SP.
Nick Hapney, the porcupine they call him. Hapney dislodging the ball, and now it's number 7, Aiden Carey.
How about that, Booker? We talked about both Hapney and Carey before the game. Carey's another one of those unsung heroes. Short stick defensive midi. Hapney's been a mainstay. Hapney's interesting. He's going to Utah to play lacrosse next year.
You ever been to Park City, Bob?
Never have.
Got to get out there. First quarter brought to you by your friends at the Valley Inn. Get to the Valley Inn. Schedule your graduation, your anniversary, engagement party. It had absolutely tremendous ambiance. The Valley Room upstairs is fantastic. The patio, second to none. And it's getting to be patio weather here, Bob. Inside shot goal. The Crusaders knotted up at one. Looked like Chris Cabral came up with that. Was it 11?
It was
a lot
11,
of wash.
Chris Cabral. They try to make a through pass here, and it was a good look. Watch this downhill dodge. Throws a through pass. It was a good look, a little low. The guy didn't handle it, and Cabral was on the spot there, picking up the loose ball, throwing it into the cage.
Like I saw my man Ian Takis on the wing there on the long stick for Loyola on the faceoffs. Let's throw it down to the third member of our broadcast team today, Dan Aburn. Dan, what are you picking up on the sideline?
Not much just yet, Bob and Booker, but I'm really impressed with the speed of this game so far. It feels like the ball's been on the ground a whole bunch. Really loving the pace of it. For Loyola in this game, look, they got a new goalkeeper in after their loss in Spalding. They want to change things up. They're also going with a few guys at the face-off X. That's a couple of things to watch. But another thing in this game that I want to highlight is the matchup between Zimnoch for St. Paul's and Sarasoli for Loyola. That's pretty much been the matchup at that end of the field that's been defining that part of the field. So keep watching that. Two of the best players at their positions in the entire state.
Dan Aburn from Inside Lacrosse joining us, giving us some inside scoop there. It'll be interesting to see how that matchup does evolve, Bob. Crusaders clear.
That's a bad call. They were onside. They were clearly onside. A very bad call. And then Coach Whitty's going to get a penalty for criticizing the official. That's too bad.
Did he throw a flag?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, flag is down.
Yeah,
Coach Whitty was all the way up to the 50-yard line.
And he was right. They were not offside.
Sorry to cut in on you, but Bob, we've both been there. Where they make the wrong call. It's only a possession, but it's still, you can't say it's only a possession because it could change. This game can change on a dime. We saw it happen on Tuesday. Inside feed shot just wide. Now we will learn of the foul. Now there's another flag coming.
He did call an unsportsmanlike on the bench. That's going to be a 1 minute non-releasable against St. Paul's.
They can go 30.
No, I saw him put his arms out.
Okay.
Let's see if we don't catch this at the scorer's table.
Referee Randall P. McMurphy Joined by Daryl Van Horn and, of course, Carmen DeJohn Domenico, official timer today. Richard Montgomery McGee, you see him at the table.
St. Paul's going to be down 2 men. The second infraction was an illegal procedure of some kind.
Dan, what'd you pick up down there?
Sounds like we got a 1 minute unreleasable for unsportsmanlike conduct, and then the second infraction was too many men on the field.
That's rough sledding for the Crusaders, but they're still just tied at 1, and it's early. Bateman across the top. Ryan Dunn on the left wing. Keep an eye on him. Here's Bateman. Bateman, time, room, goal. Steps up and makes it happen. Liam Bateman just hop-stepping.
Nothing much, too fancy here on this extra man. They're going 2-3-1 and rotate a little bit. Down 2 men. St. Paul's couldn't get up to the step-down shooter, Bateman. It's his second high, hard one. Bateman 2, St. Paul's 1 right now.
Yeah. First quarter brought to you by your friends at the Valley Inn. If you haven't been to the Valley Inn since it reopened, you are missing it. Fantastic ambiance, great clientele, and the service is amazing. My bartender, Ray, Zach, fantastic crew. Crusaders with another face-off win. They're doing okay on the face-off dot. They need to convert that. Somewhere Matty Cruz is cheering. That is a mom goal if I ever saw one. A lot of St. Paul's fans cheering. I don't know what the whistle was for. That was a blatant mom goal.
The referee thought it was in the box as well.
Sarah
Soli getting over the top. Is that Sarah Soli? 24 getting over the top. Nice play.
Sarah Soli's a nice LSM for the Don Diegos.
They still have about 12 seconds on this extra man. They're getting their subs in. Now they're going a little 3-3 Booker, and they're just rotating. They got a couple lefties on the field. They actually have 4 lefties on the field, which is highly unusual.
And here you
7
have
done.
1 second left in the foul, but you still have the time it takes for them to balance up and match up. Eric Pass will make up for that. Here's Bateman up top. Dons lead 2-1. This St. Paul's defense is impressive, to say the least.
Well, this is a matchup they're looking for. They got a little switch. Reed, who's playing attack, as we said earlier, force St. Paul's to switch. Here's another lefty.
Reed
Didn't get much on that. Really nice check. It looked like Aiden Carey got up, helped out a little bit.
Spiropoulos for St. Paul's playing defense. Doing a nice job pushing out, closing off. Of course, you have to keep your eyes on Mason Woodward, the junior defenseman, wears number 99. Here he is defending the ball momentarily. Mason Woodward, nice little athlete.
I think that's...
Bateman, hitch move.
Bateman's getting to the goal pretty regularly, it would appear. That looks like a tough matchup for SP.
Here's Alex Reed. Turns back, gets it up top. Time, room, bullseye.
22.
And that is 22, Robbie Olson. Hadn't heard much from him. Welcome to the party, Robbie.
Robbie's another one of these guys. It's been, I think, Olson, Bateman, and Reed have been on the varsity for 4 years. This is a nice play by Robbie. He's a natural righty. He gets back to his weak hand, but he's in the middle of the field and has an opportunity to shoot that ball to either side of the goaltender. He gets it low and away, a very tough save.
Toyota, the official vehicle of MIAA Lacrosse. Reliability. Toyota. St. Paul's doing well at the face-off dot.
Yeah, that's Jack Stam, who really is listed as actually their third option at the face-off. They've been using Chris Cabral a little bit, but Stam so far has done a really nice job.
He and Will Wittstad are going to get to know each other fairly well today if the scores keep going.
Well, Zimnock has a matchup that he likes because he's got a shorty, which he typically doesn't get.
This is Zimnock. Looks like he wants to move it across the top. And he gets it to Ament. Here's Ament. Behind to Barthelme. Zimnock shot, goal, off hip, blistering. Not at the table, Carlos.
Not too fancy offensively here. They're just moving their bodies in the ball. Zimnock, who started up in the middle of the field, he ends up on this far wing. Nice backside feed by Barthelme there, and this is a beautiful shot, Booker. That goes hip high, far post. That's an unsavable shot. Watch a goalie. Goalie has a tough decision to make here. Does he go across the top of his face and down, or does he swing it down below his body, to try to get it? It's just in a terrific location. Terrific shot by Zimnock.
Great ground ball by Nick the Porcupine Hapney. He's
Booker,
a sticker. He's a sticker, Bob.
So far, the guys the coaches gave us to maybe highlight a little bit are having a great start. Hapney, Zimnock, Carey for St. Paul's.
Bateman
with 2 goals already. Oh, nice play. Great ride. Number 27, Parker Keeney, who you've talked about already today.
The Dons will settle with 1:20 remaining here in the first quarter. They're up 3-2.
I think, Booker, this is Loyola's second midfield group. 40. I called him a short stick defensive midi, Ryan Lancaster. The numbers are really hard to see.
They really are.
It looks like 22, the goal scorer. Robbie Olson's on this shift. I can't see the other number. I'm guessing is Matt Dixon, just a freshman. Many of you guys, I think, know Matt's dad, Mark Dixon, a local referee and a voice of lacrosse, does a lot of the Big Ten games.
This is Reed behind the cage.
No, actually, number 8 is Chase Llewellyn, excuse me. The numbers are very hard to see, folks.
Reed shot deflected on the way, and St. Paul's might get the backup, and they do with 26 left. This is the Kelly & Associates MIAA Lacrosse Game League presented by FCA Lacrosse. Thank you for making us part of your sports viewing day. Booker Corrigan and Bob Shriver bringing it to you. First quarter brought to you by your friends at the Valley Inn. Great time to meet at the Valley.
Another good ride. Loyola is clogging up the middle of the field nicely.
And a turnover.
2 seconds
Due to
left.
good defense.
Yeah.
And that'll do it for the first quarter, brought to you by your friends at the Valley Inn. Stop by the Valley or schedule your next big celebration at one of their fantastic rooms or use that patio. Fantastic place. Thanks for joining us. We'll be right back.
The Fellowship of Christian Athletes engages their coaches and athletes to grow their faith through sport. Make sure you investigate the amazing camp at Lebanon Valley College this July. The FCA has camps, clinics, huddles, teams. Learn more about the Fellowship of Christian Athletes by going to fcalax.com.
The Training Lace Halftime Show, the road to the Under Armour All-American Part 3, the Undeniable Series brought to you by Training Lace. Bob, talk to us about the face-off.
Loyola's coming out with their third different guy so far. This is Will Corris, who's older brother to Jack. Will is like Liam Powderly, who plays for McDonough. 2 kids who are terrific lacrosse players and athletes who are going to college to play golf. Will's headed to Maryland. to play golf next year. Will's a senior. Nice play by Hume. Coming up
Connor
out of
Hume,
his
6.
box on a loose ball that had been possessed and checked out of Loyola's stick. Hume busted out of the box and picked that up. Give Loyola a good possession here.
34, Alex Bresci. Liam Bateman, we've already made his acquaintance today. First real sunny day of the MIAA season, Tuesday. Not sunny, Bob. Not sunny. Bresci over to Bateman. Shot gobbled up that time by St. Paul's goaltender Jamie Grant, number 29.
Oh, a little BTB. Fast break. Crusaders. Nice save. Good save by goaltender. Brighton Lorber.
And here's Bateman right below us. Here on the near side. Gets it to Bresci. Bresci with a trailer. Don's looking to make something happen.
Another nice save by Grant.
Jamie Grant standing tall so far in the cage, number 29 for the St. Paul's Crusaders. Reed pushes it behind, and the Dons will look to run something.
There's Dunn isolated on a shorty. I don't know how that matchup ended up. Nice look.
Oh,
what a
robbery.
better save.
And a good day to you, sir.
Good look by Bateman. Inside of Hume. Hume had a quick stick. Grant up to the task.
Aiden Carey, number 7 for St. Paul's, has it for a moment, and now it's back with Logan Zimnock. Safe to say he's going to touch it in. I've seen enough lacrosse to know he's going to get that ball in the box. Right, Bob?
I believe he's capable of doing that.
Not revealing where anybody.
Unless you were covering him.
I think he'd be going to the cage then.
I'm not sure where he's going there. Milo Musi's really got nothing available to him, and he's trying to make something out of nothing. I'm sure Coach Whitty's not too happy. Loyal's got a little bit of an unsettled. What a pass.
Unbelievable pass.
Grant up to the task, 4 in a row in about the last 45 seconds for Grant.
Jamie Grant, just a sophomore. Pretty impressive.
Hapney, he's got Amet.
Yeah, Grant Ament, who is the guy who's out for Penn State.
Yep. Terrific lacrosse player for the Nittany Lions. Been hurt all year. Don't know whether he's going to come back. Out of Haverford High School.
We've seen them.
Which, by the way, in the introduction, I apologize. I said that St. Paul's had played Haverford, Hill, and Malvern. I apologize. Their other loss this year was to Landon from Washington, D.C. So they've played, it was Landon, Haverford, and Culver. You know, quite a schedule.
That is a schedule. That's all teams that we've seen.
Yeah.
We bring you the best lacrosse we can. We have the Invicta crew here. Rain, cold, sleet, snow. They're like the Postal Service.
I think St. Paul's is guilty of making just some somewhat silly fundamental mistakes. That time they didn't back up the goal. You know, the possession before somebody's trying to make something out of nothing. I'm sure that doesn't please Coach Whitty. I know that they want to go fast, but sometimes you have to let discretion take over.
Ryan Lancaster in on midfield. Number 22, Robbie Olson down on the wing.
And he is playing with Dixon. That is a number 3. Dixon's on the crease.
Freshman Matt Dixon open on the crease. In and out. And that
return. Did they call it?
Timeout. I think we may have gotten a timeout from Coach Rubio.
Wow.
Not his first rodeo. This is the Kelly Associates Game of the Week, presented by FCA Lacrosse.
The champions of today inspire the stars of tomorrow over Memorial Day weekend. Just as the stars of college lacrosse will compete for the 2018 NCAA Championship in Boxborough, Massachusetts, youth lacrosse players from across the nation will also be playing for a title at the NCAA Future Champions Tournament. Each team will receive 20 tickets to the NCAA Championships and have the opportunity to be recognized on the field at Gillette Stadium. To learn more, check us out at cselax.com.
Jamie Grant, goaltender for St. Paul's, treating the Loyola shooters like Jeff Lebowski got treated in the Malibu police chief's office. Bob, what do you like about these saves by Jamie Grant?
He made two incredible saves in a row. One, a left-handed step-down shot from that goal line extended, just a little bit above the goal line extended. Here's this through pass, nice feed by Bateman. Look at that save, right on the crease. He kept his stick up, and watch another great pass through the defense, and there's Grant holding, standing up tall, as we like to say, when a goalie refuses to give in. Impressive.
Holding his ground nicely, and speaking of holding your ground nicely, two great possession timeouts, one for each coach so far today. Coach Rubior had a man in duress underneath us here on the near side, and he got the timeout in just before he was dislodged with the burden of having to carry the ball.
Loyola running a little bit of their invert offense. Ironically, the kid that's inverting, though, is being covered by a pole, so St. Paul should be pretty comfortable defensively. Another good save by Grant. That's 5 in a row in about the last minute and a half, Booker.
Grant is playing well so far. He'll be your Under Armour Underclass Tryout Player of the Game. A ton of Under Armour Underclass players on this field today, as we do every time we get in the booth together, Bob. We see a lot of talent. We're fortunate.
Well, the MIAA, as everybody knows, has always got talent, and you'll see a lot of these guys playing on Saturdays.
Ooh, shot off the leg.
There's Hapney.
Nick Hapney gobbled that one up. Tell you what,
he's a big kid, Hapney. Look at how big he is.
I think he'd be willing to play if he had pneumonia. He'd still get out there. That's how much respect I have for these Hapney kids. Here's Woodward guarding Reed. Reed jitterbugs at X. Comes around. A lot of off-ball movement. I like it. No harm. Lancaster pushes it up. This is Dixie. Reed comes in, shot low. No rebound that time by Jamie Grant either, but he is now getting ridden.
Well, one thing we've seen from St. Paul's, when they get the ball, they want to go as quickly as they can. That time they got the ball. Yeah. Reed was chasing, didn't have an easy outlet pass up the field. And then they're guilty of throwing a 60-yard pass over their teammate's head. Loyola ball.
Second quarter brought to you by the Mason-Dixon Lacrosse Tournament.
Booker, second chances are the death of you as a defense. You hate giving them up. They oftentimes come back and bite you. So Loyola's got a second chance opportunity here. And they're coming back with their first midfield.
Here's Bateman.
Bateman, Chorus.
And Bresci on the crease.
Bresci on the crease, but 22, Robbie Olson.
Don't know what.
I think he called him for stepping in the crease with the ball in his stick. Another timeout by Coach Rubior. He didn't like something, so he called it.
Second quarter brought to you by the Mason-Dixon Lacrosse Tournament. This is the Kelly & Associates Game of the Week presented by FCA Lacrosse. Corrigan, Bob Schreiber bringing the Game of the Week. Games to watch in the NCAA. The one I want to see is North Carolina, Virginia. Bob, what do you like?
Look at those games. Notre Dame's coming off a loss, got to beat Duke. Johns Hopkins playing Ohio State after an emotional win over Rutgers. Ohio State in desperate need of a win.
Oh, yeah.
Carolina, Virginia. The pundits say that the loser of that game is very easily going to be out of the ACC tournament, which would probably knock them out of the NCAA. And then Penn State coming off a huge win over Ohio State, playing, the number 2 team in the country. Many people still think the Albany game might have been an upset. Maryland could very easily be the number 1 team in the country had they not given up that 4-goal lead in the fourth quarter against Albany.
Tell you what, we've got a lot of great lacrosse players here in the stands. Former first-team All-American Don Tracy here below us. Sean Nadalin below us. I got Ron Klausner texting me. We're going to talk a little bit with Gary Adornato from Varsity Sports Network.
There it is, Booker.
In the third quarter.
One of the classic plays of all time.
The Mamba.
A little Mumbo play. They swung the ball around the circle. They popped Reed. No, it wasn't Reed. I apologize. They popped Chorus off the crease. Good check by St. Paul's guy. Threw it over the cage.
Shot. That's another mom goal. This goal seems to be very, and for those of you who don't realize, a mom goal is when the ball hits the outside of the netting. And of course, some of, not all of, I got in trouble in CBS Sports for saying all the moms. Some of the moms and some of the dads cheer.
Well, they're hoping.
Thinking it's a goal.
Yeah, well, they're hoping.
Yeah, because they work so hard and they drove all these kids to all these practices. Thank you to all the moms.
St. Paul's needs a good quality possession.
Yeah.
While their goaltender's been standing on his head down at the other end of the field, they haven't had the ball too much. So I'm sure Coach Woody's hoping that they have a good quality possession that culminates in a decent opportunity. There's Chismar, freshman, playing midfield with Cabral, and Connor Slane.
Here's Slane up top. Slane, just a sophomore.
Playing with this freshman Chismar is a really good player. He's also a kid that used to play some attack. Just got out-muscled there a little bit.
Down on the crease for St. Paul's, Peter Sheehan. His father, Peter Sheehan, played a little goaltender in his day, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Bob? MIAA guy.
Incredible. There was Coach Whitty now. He wants to settle his team down offensively.
3:33 remaining here in the first half. Thrilled to see my man Donnie Tracy here in the house. Thank you for making us part of your sports viewing day. This is Kelly & Associates Game of the Week presented by FCA Lacrosse.
Represent for Rough Rider Nation. The Rough Riders have been on top of the game since 2007. Rough Rider alums continue to shine and won national championships at all levels. Rough Rider teams dominate the countryside in Maryland, Pennsylvania, and now Virginia. Check us out online at roughriderlacrosse.com. It's time to ride or die.
1, 2, 3, ride!
Yo, Sean.
Dan Aburn down on the field. Dan, what do you got?
Just listening in on the St. Paul's huddle, it sounds like they're going to try and get something up top first. Probably start with Zimnoch with the ball and see what they can get with that. Probably going to run a Mumbo here, possibly.
And Dan, down on the sidelines, when St. Paul's is getting those great saves from Jamie Grant, what's the sideline temperature like?
Well, it's starting to cool down a little bit. Loyola came out with a lot of energy at the beginning of the quarter, and what they've been kind of preaching in their huddles is just patience and don't be afraid to bang the ball back through X if there's nothing there on your dodges.
Crusaders come out of the timeout and lob a pass that Zimnoch gathers. They almost turned it over on the first one. Milo Moose pushes it behind. This is Barthelme. Inside shot, whistles wide.
Ament, we talked about him earlier. Nice ball movement right there by SP. Ament on that goal line extended, had a decent opportunity, missed the cage. Nice save.
Nice bounce save, and that's going to be an interference against the goaltender. They give it right back with a quick whistle.
Lorber.
And here's Alex Bresci.
He is a lightning fast. What an effort by number 14 there. Just get a little whack at the tail end.
Andrew Milani. I've always liked his game. He played on that Baltimore underclass for the Under Armour underclass event.
Andrew Milani made a great play, and his former coach at Towson University is right here in front of us watching that.
Former coach or future?
Future coach, I mean. at Towson. Sean Nadelin, as you mentioned earlier, was here watching that. Neither coach has a timeout left, so we're going to play this next 2.5 minutes without anybody having the opportunity to stop a play if they don't like something that they see. Both coaches with nothing left in their pocket.
Lancaster hitch move comes back.
Both defenses have played very well, Booker. Both St. Paul's and Loyola defenses have played well in this game.
Connor Hume with that offering, and Ryan Dunn backs it up. 22, Robbie Olson now goes behind the cage. Dunn with some time.
Lancaster, he's a fire plug. Not the tallest kid. Look at his legs. He's got real strong legs.
Legs.
Hey, you got to have them underneath you, don't you, if you want to play. He's a fire plug.
Olson testing the waters of Mason Woodward. Doesn't like it.
Here's Lancaster. Good feet.
Shot, goal. Lancaster makes it 4-2. Bob Shriver, you know a little bit about the sport of lacrosse, Bob.
I've been impressed with Lancaster. Early in the game, I thought he was a defensive midi, and I was wrong, obviously. He's the mainstay, it would appear, on this. Well, he's a mainstay on this second midfield unit. He's a guy handling the ball more often than not. Watch this nice move. They're swinging the ball around. Lancaster just dodging we call this a wing dodge. He gets down the alley. It's not a great angle, but he puts it in a wonderful spot. Nice face off.
Chorus with that one, it looked like.
That was Will.
Oh, what's that?
Goosing the ball to his brother, Jack. How about that? That's pretty neat. A nice family event right there. Jack had, we did Loyola last year. Was it the Loyola Calvert Hall game when Jack Corus had 3 goals as a freshman? Outstanding.
It was, in fact. Can't remember what you did last night, though, right?
I can't. Nor about an hour and a half ago.
Here's Bateman. 41 seconds remaining, first half.
Standing around a little bit. I think they want to make sure they get the last shot. They might put this shot clock on, but it won't matter because we're under 30.
This is Chorus, rolls back to Bateman. Bresci now right side. Back to Bresci.
St. Paul's does a nice job rotating defensively. If they slide, they're very quick to help and recover and then get back into their shape.
Bateman with 10 in the quarter. Diagonal bounce pass, gathered. Bresci shot, saved by Jamie Grant. And fitting that that's how the first half should come to an end. Don't go anywhere. We have the Training Lace halftime show. It's the Under Armour Undeniable Part 3. Training Lace halftime show. Thrilled to have them on board.
Kelly and Associates Insurance Group and Kelly Payroll helps employers and employees save time, money, and hassle in navigating the intricacies of insurance, benefits, payroll, and workforce challenges. Kelly and Associates Insurance Group and Kelly Payroll is pleased to support CSE TV and the Game of the Week. Visit kellyway.com to put their people, technology, and services to work for you.
Undeniable, the road to the Under Armour All-America game.
He's gonna have him shoot over this cage just to get his arms away from his body. So he's gonna shoot over this one into that one. Try to snap it down so we're getting high to low shots. Snap your wrist. Better, better. There you go, there you go. I like overhand. I like overhand on the run. He wants to be great. You know, as talented as he is, you know, his work ethic supersedes that. I mean, he's worked very hard to get where he is.
So we work on footwork, we work on my offhand, my left hand, time and rim shooting, shooting on the run, inside finishing, ground balls, transitional things, moving the ball, offensive sets, literally everything.
Let's get these next 5. Just redodge, split, redodge, and then go. No cones, so just hit that redodge. Imagine the slide coming back up and go again. So make sure you're popping out, popping back. There you go, there you go.
The saying that hard work beats talent is completely true.
You're good, you're good. Just keep
There's
shooting.
guys out there that work 10 times harder than some of the most talented guys.
Grab some water, we'll do the star.
And then talented guys ride the pine. It's about the little things, the GBs, clearing the ball. Things like that, the intangibles that really, when you bear down the game, are the things that make champions and make teams successful.
In 2003, Coach John Zissi, a 3-time All-American lacrosse player at Tufts University, moved to California to pursue his passion for teaching and coaching.
I was Jake's middle school teacher, 7th grade, taught him for 7th and 8th grade. You know, he was in my social studies class, struggling a little bit. I said, you know, let's make a deal. I need you to play lacrosse.
And I remember Jake coming home, mentioning to me, saying, I'm not going to play that little stick sport. He was kind of poking fun of it.
He said, you can just play one practice, just try, and I distinctly remember saying, I'll play your stupid sport for one day.
So Jake came out, and I think it was the first time Jake had really struggled with anything.
I was terrible. I was one of the worst guys on the team.
He's such a gifted athlete that football and basketball came so naturally. I think he was intrigued at something that he wasn't instantly good at.
Coming from such a competitive background, that's what drew me into sports so quickly. I wanted to do better, and I wanted to be the best, and I wanted to excel, and I could not figure it out for, months.
He never put the stick down. He was always carrying it around, cradling it. Everywhere he went, there was pieces of lacrosse sticks all over the house, and I kind of knew at that point that he was sold, and I was happy about that because he never ever complained about going to practice or having games. He was always excited about, I think, the new challenge that lacrosse provided.
I think he was trying to blaze his own trail on a new trail, and lacrosse was new, and very soon Jake became good, and it became his sport. Last year was the first year the West really made an impact. We finished 5th out of 10, which is still, it's a step in the right direction, and I think we caught a lot of attention. So we beat Long Island, which is a huge victory for us, and fell just short to New England team that I think went on to the finals. Jake was a big part of that. He had the game-winning goal in the Long Island game in overtime, and really set the stage for him to come back this year and hopefully he plays well. So, honestly, the game Saturday, this weekend, should be your tune-up for Under Armour game. Because A, you've been hurt, and B, it'll set the tone for how you're going to play in that game. I mean, it's all your buddies, so it's going to be fun, but it's important that you represent yourself, obviously.
Yeah, definitely.
You got a lot to prove. I mean, bottom line, it's important that you do well, because a lot of haters out there.
I don't know, I kind of want to show that I can play more than just transition,
But I mean,
all
teams aren't going to be, they're not going to be sliding to you early, they're not going to be shutting off. It's just going to be like a normal game for you, which will be good.
Community for West Coast lacrosse just in general is really, really tight. Naturally, we just kind of bond in that way that we are constantly the underdogs. It's not like an East-West thing, it's just that we feel that we have something to prove.
I think generalizations that probably we have the best athletes. I think the coaching is a little bit behind the East Coast.
So these athletes, these tremendous athletes who used to come to us as athletes but not skilled players, are developing that skill set.
Over the last 10 years, the development's been staggering. It's definitely the fastest growing sport out here. People are playing year-round, and it's insane out here, too, starting as young as 1st grade. I think aside from the depth, it's not a whole lot different than the East Coast at this point.
They're quickly becoming a big part of the landscape in Division I lacrosse. He speaks to exactly what I'm talking about. And I think he's a pretty special athlete and an awful talented player.
My fear is being one-dimensional. It's just my competitive nature.
Presented by Corrigan Sports Enterprises. Events from conception to fruition. Produced by Jalbert Productions International.
At Toyota, we know the journey is as important as the destination. That's why no detail was overlooked. RAV4 is perfect for your adventures, with plenty of cargo space and available all-wheel drive. And with all these active safety features standard, we're always along for the ride. Now lease a versatile RAV for only $189 a month, or buy with $1,500 cash back, or 0% APR plus $500 finance cash. RAV4, your destination, our journey. What drives you? Toyota. Let's go places.
The MIAA is the most competitive lacrosse conference in the country. The 2018 MIAA Lacrosse Semifinals and Championships will be held May 15th and 18th at Towson University's Johnny Unitas Stadium. For a glimpse into the future of the collegiate game, the MIAA, where the stars of tomorrow play for a championship today.
The Training Lace halftime show. Training Lace is the comfortable, flexible training weight that can be used to build muscle in any sport or fitness activity. Get yours at traininglace.com. Just like the rug ties the room together, halftime highlights and stats tie the game together. Bob, we had some amazing highlights, some of the goal scoring and some of the goal saving.
Here's Liam Bateman, starts Loyola off with a great downhill dodge, gets it to a strong left hand, throws it over the shoulder. This ball goes through and it bounces around. Chris Cabral is money on the spot there. Here's Bateman scoring again on an extra man. Just gets to step down. Look, St. Paul's, is down 2 men there. It's very hard to rotate, obviously, with 4 guys. Now we're going to watch Loyola go up by 2 goals. This is Robbie Olson, who's a natural righty, comes into the middle of the field with his offhand, makes a really good shot. And this is a tremendous shot by Liam Zimnock to make it 3-2. And then Loyola will cap the scoring off, here in the first half. And there's Lancaster, who we talked about a little bit, Ryan Lancaster, who seems to be the major ball handler on Loyola's second midfield.
What about the statistics? Ground balls pretty even, assists even, face-offs. Loyola getting the better of them. Will Wittstadt doing a nice job. What else do you like?
Well, the biggest difference here is the amount of saves that St. Paul's goalie Jamie Grant had. He had that one stretch where he made about 5 saves in a minute and a half, and he's kept St. Paul's, quite honestly, in this game. Loyola could easily be up by 3, 4, maybe 5 goals if Grant had made 2 or 3 outstanding saves.
Number 28, Reed Delanois here on the wing for Loyola. And a procedural violation. And Will Corris will take that face-off win any day, right?
And
anytime's a win.
That's the second time he's been able to pick the ball up and hand it to his little brother. Pretty neat.
And Bob, one of the things that we talk about a lot is the amazing number of great lacrosse coaches that come out of Washington College. We're missing one right now, though, right?
Well, Coach Rick Mercado,
former coach at St. Paul's,
hung up the whistle last year after 16 years at the helm of St. Paul's. He was hoping he was going to be able to sit in the stands this year and watch his son Jack play his final season at St. Paul's. And Jack, just the other day, got checked on the wrist and broke his wrist, out for the season.
All of us at Corrigan Sports sending a big get well soon card to Jack Mercado. Nice drive to the cage that time by Bareshi, but does not cash in.
And a better backup by Colin Hume. He's got Hackney covering him. Hackney gets a check around his body and flips the ball out of his stick. Goalie inside the crease. Here's Aiden Carey, who's clearly got some legs.
Looks like a young Matt Abbott. I mean, I'm not going to put the cart before the horse here, but he certainly has a nice stride about him.
Yeah.
Tall, lean, plays good on both ends, but they need him so much on the defensive end that he has to play it. And there's that lob pass. St. Paul's threw one in the first half, and they just cost them big right there.
Good play by Mason Hoffman from Loyola. Just get his stick up in the passing lane.
Bresci.
Loyola's under him a little bit.
He threw it inside to the long stick.
Not the greatest place to put the ball for a long stick. He's in a lot of traffic. There's not too many long sticks that can handle the ball in there, especially when it's coming to your offhand.
St. Paul's with their full complement of their defensive midfield stars out there, including number 3, Andrew Caples. Thrilled with the way he has developed as a lacrosse player. I've seen it since he was back in 4th grade. And Coach Trey Whitty and I worked together at McDonough. We taught PE. And Coach Whitty and I had a kickball game. And Coach Whitty was pitching, and we had a young man who hadn't made a catch all season. Coach Whitty tipped the ball high in the air to him, and the kid laid out and dove and caught it. It was one of the great moments of teaching that Coach Whitty walked that young man down the path towards. Loyola extended possession here. Wouldn't be surprised to see a shot clock, Bob?
I don't think so, Booker. Where did that slip of paper go?
Yeah.
Thank you.
A little windy, as you can probably hear in our microphones. Nice ground ball pickup that time by 24 Spencer Hall. I like his game.
And a good ride by Loyola. Here's these inevitable second chance opportunities.
Loyola rides it back.
I would think there might be a flag down, but I can't see whether he threw it or not. It looked like a pretty vicious check there.
This is Lancaster. Rolls back righty. Alex Reed, quick as a hiccup. Looking to feed the whole way. Gets the feed off, in and out of the stick, but a nice ground ball. And now a nice little nifty backhand pass. Shot, goal, Alex Reed. Put the Dons up 5-2.
Loyola was getting a lot of the hustle plays in this game, Booker. Those 50-50 ground balls, they're riding very effectively. They just didn't let St. Paul's out, and we talked about second chance opportunities. They typically will come back and bite you a little bit, and it just happened. St. Paul's failed to clear. Loyola get the ball on the ground. They got in a little bit unsettled.
Yep.
St. Paul's
with the ground ball got him unsettled.
Correct. Yep. But St. Paul's, there's Corus. He moved a little quickly that time. It's the first face-off he's lost since he's come in to take a few.
Jack Stam getting the win for St. Paul's, and now we're going to welcome in to the booth Gary Adornato from Varsity Sports Network as we see Loyola goaltender Brighton Lorber make the save. Gary, tell us a little bit about at Varsity Sports Network. You guys have an exciting podcast going on. We just talked about Rick Mercado. I alluded to Ron Klausner earlier.
Yeah.
What do you love about it?
Well, it's guys talking about lacrosse. It's a couple of ex-coaches and Matt Kennedy, who is a wealth of knowledge on all things high school sports. And they just get out there and they talk about rule changes, players from the past, great rivalries. It's just a lot of fun. Just guys talking lacrosse.
A shot out of bounds awarded to Loyola. Even if that player tries to pick that ball up, they still, if they don't change the impetus of the ball, it is still awarded to the team that's closest, no matter who touched it.
Great defensive game here.
So far, so good. 5-2 your score, third quarter. Every time. Brought to you by the Columbia Bank. My friends at the Columbia Bank love going to the Valley Inn. Banking made easy. Make sure you check out the Columbia Bank. Here's Liam Bateman, Gary Adornato joining us here from Varsity Sports Network. What sort of other action do you have at VSN going on right now?
Well, it's a spring season, so it's baseball, it's softball. That's the thing with us. We never stop moving. It's sports all day, all night.
365, right?
Yeah. So we're out there. I was up at John Carroll yesterday, covered the two top baseball teams in the MIAA so far. John Carroll pitcher threw a no-hitter. Really exciting.
Wow.
So we just have a lot of fun. And out here today, seeing an MIAA lacrosse game. We do the public schools. We do everything, boys, girls. We even cover some water polo and squash along the way.
That is a full slate of activities. And how can our viewers get to Varsity Sports Network?
Well, it's simply varsitysportsnetwork.com. Most of our information on there, the articles are subscription articles, but we have a lot of free information, including the Laxcast. If you want to listen to the podcast, just go to our homepage. There's a big banner right on the homepage. That's a free piece of content. Of course, we have all the schedule, standings, and scores for all the different sports. That's all free as well.
And I've been onto that site, and you do have all the schedules,
You've written
all
for
the
that site.
standings, it's a wealth of knowledge that comes every time when you get on there. Here's Barthelme digging in, trying to make something happen. Nothing doing. Chris Cabral pulls things out. Cabral now gets it to Connor Slane. Slane across the top, and this is Milani. I like Milani's game. Trail check that time. Don't know if they're going to call it a shot. Barthelme kind of forces him into that. That could have gone either way.
Looks like they did give him the shot. Yeah.
And it should have been St. Paul's ball, but he may have got checked out.
Oh.
Shot, goal, inside. Bartholomew squeaks one in there.
Gave up his body for that one.
By no means a rip.
No. Trickled over top the goalie.
There's Bartholomew, number 9 for St. Paul's. He makes it 5-3. Here's the replay. You see Loyola a little bit questioning the inbounds call. Bartholomew comes right in, dodges hard right-handed rolls.
Looked like the goalie knocked it back down into the goal.
He lobbed it over the goalie. A better angle right here as he drives in. He rolls back and lobs it over the goalie. Got a quick little piece of it. Brighton Lorber's going to regret that one, but that's how the cookie crumbles. He's made some saves today as well. Face-off win for the Dons as they are now charged with getting the ball out of their own defensive end. 5:33 to go here, third quarter, brought to you by the Columbia Bank. Banking made easy. The Columbia Bank is a proud official bank of MIAA Lacrosse. Here is Alex Bresci, ladies and gentlemen.
Another save.
What a save by Jamie Grant. Welcome to the party, Jamie.
He's been impressive. 6 saves, I believe, he had in the second quarter.
Yep. 7 for the half. He's probably going to finish with double digits. This is Spiropoulos. And now we got trail checks galore. Nick Hapney down there trying to make something happen. Loyola comes up with it momentarily, but Hapney now has it. And a timeout by Coach Whitty will bring it to an end. Gary, thanks for joining us in the booth. Always great having you to join along.
I appreciate it.
VarsitySportsNetwork.com is the place where people can go for all the information.
Thanks, Booker. Thanks, Bobby. Have a good broadcast, guys.
We always do.
Kelly and Associates Insurance Group and Kelly Payroll helps employers and employees save time, money, and hassle in navigating the intricacies of insurance, benefits, payroll, and workforce challenges. Kelly and Associates Insurance Group and Kelly Payroll is pleased to support CSE TV and the Game of the Week. Visit kellyway.com to put their people, technology, and services to work for you.
There's the Varsity Sports Network weekly rankings. Bob, Calvert Hall, BL have separated themselves.
Well, not really, because the league's just getting started. BL's in a dogfight down at Gilman right now. McDonald lost their opening game to St. Mary's. Loyola lost their opening game to Spalding. So this ranking's going to be in a big state of flux. I think Calvert Hall will hang on to that number 1 spot, but after that, it's going to be a toss-up to see who slips into the second place. Timely timeout by Coach Whitty, and I might add, a little bit earlier, Coach Whitty ran a nice, effective 10-man ride, just trying to change up things for his team. And it ultimately culminated in them Grant made a phenomenal save. They got a good possession. And we just saw the result with Bartholomew making an inside roll and then a little change up.
Nice save by Brighton Lorber right there. And this is number 17, Mason Hoffman. Nice job by Mason Hoffman, a real meat and potatoes hustle type character guy.
Nobody looking, backed up.
Yep, they still need to get it into the box. And I think Liam Bateman, we have referee Carmen DeJohn Domenico swinging his arm. And here's Chorus. 2 St. Paul's guys stumble over each other, but Happy gets back at it.
St. Paul's defense does a wonderful job of sliding, replacing guys, and then getting back into their defensive shape. They gave up an extra man goal, and that little unsettled a second ago for their 5th goal. They played really solid defense, and the goalie's been outstanding.
Goalie has been outstanding. That forces a wide shot right there. Look at Chorus on the inside. Goaltender Jamie Grant is probably on a heater, and you never walk away from the table when you're on a heater. Jack Chorus. Lefty shot just wide, backed up by Reed.
Booker, I've always had an affinity for left-handed lacrosse players. I think it just helps you balance the field out so well, and Loyola is blessed with 3 or 4 really good ones. Reed, Younger Chorus, Bateman, they are solid players. Dunn's a lefty.
Reed rolls back, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. I had some great ones in Andrew Feinberg. Inside shot, goal. That little dribbly Paris Hill looks like Dixon. Is that number 3?
That's the freshman.
That is
That's
Maddie.
really nice. That's 6, Colin Hume.
So excited for
Watch
Maddie.
him cut from behind the goal. The defenseman gets caught ball watching a little bit and is not there. St. Paul's defenseman, watch this cut. Look at goal line extended. Colin Hume just cuts. Beautiful, and what a great shot. He just dropped the head of his stick, and that ball bounced right up into the top of the goal.
And that is a big goal. Gets it back to a 3-goal lead. Well, let's get down to the sideline. Dan Aburn, what are you picking up down there?
Guys, one adjustment made at halftime that I'm picking up on was Alex Reed being moved more so in front of the cage as opposed to operating from behind. And that's amounted to 2 assists from him, where he's kind of, dodged from the wing, found an open player either cutting or on the backside, and they've been able to find goals that way. However, on that last possession for St. Paul's, they really wanted to get a goal. Obviously did not get it, so now they're a little bit more hard-pressed to find some offense. But I think one thing to take into account is how much possession time Loyola is starting to amass.
At Loyola, the crowd wants Loyola to be offsides. They just don't have enough guys on the field, is the scenario. They were onsides. We watched the whole thing. We hate it when the referees don't want to make mistakes. It happens.
Hapney with his stick in a passing lane.
Nick Hapney, he can't get
He's
rid
had
of
a
the guy.
heck of a game so far. St. Paul's defense is held up, other than that last little snafu, I think, when they let somebody cut from behind the goal. They played very well in this game. Loyola's had some good opportunities, though.
And St. Paul's defense, I'm talking about drawing a line in the sand, dude. Across this line, you do not. And that's the way they stand up to it. Third quarter brought to you by the Columbia Bank. And that's a catch by Jamie Grant. Columbia Bank, banking made easy. Proud to be the official bank, the MIAA Lacrosse, the ColumbiaBank.com. Bank easier online all the time. They're a member of the FDIC. Aiden Carey, welcome.
I tell you, Loyola has done a very nice job riding. The midfielders for Loyola have done a wonderful job getting back to the middle of the field, right at that midline, where they've put their line in the sand and made it very hard for St. Paul's to run through them clearing. They've turned the ball over a number of times. Got him hung up. Milani.
Oh, what a play by Milani. That is pretty. The dude abides.
They got number 17, Mason Hoffman, hung up in front of the goal. Milani just got that half a step, dove to the front. He basically got to the goal line extended, and he improved his angle by diving up the field and throws the ball by the goal. Nice play by Milani, heads up.
And like you said, improved his angle using the length of his stick and the dive to make sure that he had the gap covered and put it down in the corner, too.
Another movement. Chorus is guilty of jumping again. That's a second infraction, Booker, on Loyola. The next time there's an infraction for Loyola on a face-off, St. Paul's going to get an extra man.
The Towson Hot Bagels extra man. THB.
Oh, I apologize. Excuse me. They called that infraction on St. Paul's.
Yeah.
So they're one apiece.
The plot thickens.
The referee pointed the wrong way. My apologies.
Here's Bresci.
Bresci has, sorry, Booker, tremendous speed. If he gets a chance, look, he's going to get an opportunity to make a big, hard run, just utilizing his speed. He's throwing it back to Bateman. Bateman could have thrown one more pass there, and they'd have had a layup.
And was his teammate talking to him is the question.
Well, the old one more call, right? Yep. Might have helped Bateman that time. push on that loose ball.
And the seniors on these teams know how. Flag goes at the end. Flag denotes possession. There will not be a face-off to start the Durham Capital fourth quarter. Towson Hot Bagels bringing you the man-ups. THB Bakery and Deli Breakfast, Lunch, and Catering. Download our new app, MyTHB, today. What drives you? Shop Toyota for legendary safety and reliability. Toyota, let's go places. We'll be back.
Thunder Bay Apparel is the hottest lacrosse-exclusive clothing line in the game. Thunder Bay's t-shirts and hats flash a little lacrosse lifestyle into your wardrobe. Thunder Bay's pigment-dyed, ring-spun cotton t-shirts immediately feel like you've owned them for years because nobody wants to wear that other polyester fabric every day. Make sure you check out the new styles and designs. All you got to do is click on ThunderBayApparel.com.
The Fellowship of Christian Athletes engages their coaches and athletes to grow their faith through sport. Make sure you investigate the amazing camp at Lebanon Valley College this July. The FCA has camps, clinics, huddles, teams. Learn more about the Fellowship of Christian Athletes by going to fcalax.com.
Press Box and Corrigan Sports have teamed up together to provide high school Lax fans with a weekly high school Lax newsletter. The weekly email features local boys and girls rankings, key upcoming games, and info on key players and coaches. To sign up, go to PressBoxOnline.com/lacrosse. Wave 1 for the Under Armour All-Americans was released. St. Mary's is on a roll, and Hopkins still rising. Bob, I got a feeling that Hopkins is going to win by 7 or more tomorrow.
I don't think so. I'll take that bet if we can do that.
I love it. I'll bet you 50 push-ups.
St. Paul. Well, you couldn't make it. You'd never make it.
Could you?
Yeah,
could
I
you?
could. I actually could.
So could I. All 50 at once or 2 sets of 25?
Let's stop and talk about the game. Loyola was extra man here for 30 seconds. The penalty is almost up. They've been staying in a straight 3-3.
They've been listening to our push-up conversation. Here's Bateman.
He's still got the guy. Oh, wow.
I love that shot.
Here's another Robbie Olson. Good shot, but he had the younger chorus, Jack, wide open on the crease. Maybe Jack was also guilty of not letting his guy know.
Well, it's a fine line between when you do say one more, now you've blown your cover.
Sure.
So, and you want to feel like you're spooking around in there without anybody seeing you. And once you start yelling one more, now they know you're there.
Good read dodge.
Shot goal!
Great read dodge by Liam Bateman for his third goal of the game.
As we like to say, Bob, he logs on to the 3G network right there.
Watch this. Bateman just starts his dodge. He looks like he's stepping in. He steps out and then redodges. Great play. And then look at where that position of that shot was. Low and away into that lower corner. Really pretty play by Bateman. He's having a heck of a game.
Cole Corrigan wouldn't have made that save.
Well, Cole Corrigan's a natural lefty, so that ball, he might have been able to put his stick down and get that. For Jamie Grant, who's a righty, getting down in that corner would have been very hard.
That's taller. That's almost have to kick that out with your foot, which I don't know too many human beings that want to kick a lacrosse ball out with their foot. Frankie Habney, number 1 on the wing now for the Crusaders.
Frankie,
the little porcupine, they call him.
Yeah, well, Frankie was in the penalty box. He was guilty of the push right there at the end of the third quarter. But St. Paul's did a good job. They ate the penalty up. Loyola was even and ended up scoring a goal all even.
Connor Hume in along with Chase Llewellyn. Here is Hume on the near side.
Well, this is where we have trouble reading numbers. It's actually Dixon in the game wearing his 3 with Chase Llewellyn as an 8 and then with Lancaster. Robbie Olson, who has been running with these guys, was just on that extra man, so they took him out, gave him a little break.
But I think that's Hume playing that right wing.
It is, but you were right. Chase Llewellyn's on a midfield shift. The 3 and the 8 are impossible to look at. And the 6, they all look pretty much the same.
Hard to distinguish.
Yes.
Dixon pushes it to the wing and clears
for Dunn, who's had a pretty quiet game. Defender for St. Paul's, Jonathan. Can you pronounce that last name? It's Spear. Number 12. Spiropoulos has played very well. Good shot. There's Lancaster. He's been a little pest.
They're saying the goalie got a piece of that, so the shot clock criteria has been met. There's no shot clock right now against Loyola. There was one for about 7. They were a little late in it, too. But you're right, Spiropoulos is a fantastic defender.
Yeah, he's played a good game.
He, Caples, Hapney, Woodward. This St. Paul's team is rich in defense. Coach Trey Whitty, a lot to work with.
There's Carey, their short stick defensive midfield ace. Good slide. Again, a nice recovery by the St. Paul's defense behind the slide.
Here's Alex Reed, and now it's Dixon.
Here's Lancaster, scored a goal from here early in the game. Coming back to his right hand.
And this is what Dan Aburn was talking about from inside Lacrosse. He was on the sideline. He talked about Alex Reed playing up top inverted a little bit more. He's naturally a attackman. Oh, a shot deflects in. Mark it 8, dude.
Booker, there's no pictures on the scorecard. The old golf terminology.
Yep.
Reed gets his shot. It's going to go about 4 feet wide of the goal, and unfortunately, Spiropoulos, it just deflects off him into the goal. There's nothing he could do. Just a bad break for St. Paul's. Yeah, look at that. Right off his
look at that.
Lower shin.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Just look at it.
Loyola pulling away here a little bit, Booker. They've really controlled most of the second half possessions. Yep. I would say it's probably 70-30.
Fourth quarter brought to you by Durham Capital, providing non-traditional sources of capital for public and private companies worldwide. For more information, visit durhamcap.com. A lot of trouble right now for the Dons after the face-off win, but the ground ball gathered and possessed. And for that, you will get Andrew Caples closing the gap on you. You'll move the ball very quickly.
Good play by Brendan Knott. Nice ground ball and a good, solid clear.
Mason Hoffman for Loyola has played a fantastic game. Liam Bateman, of course, with 3 goals already. Here he is, top center. Alex Bresci pushes it down the wing. Here's Alex Reed. Reed trying to get top side. Over to Bateman. Rolls back. Time, room.
Going for his 4th.
And I'll tell you what, St. Paul's defense, these guys are so good at they pretty much had the backup right there.
Their St. Paul's defense got to be tired. They've been forced to play a lot of D. Product, of course, doing a nice job on a face-off.
Yep.
Ineffective clears on a couple. And being a little in a hurry on a couple key offensive possessions, so St. Paul's just hadn't had the ball that much.
Bresci rings iron. He's getting his recommended daily allowance. And Loyola still possesses. Loyola in their home whites, St. Paul's road blues. Bresci.
Good save. Hops. That time that ball was going low and away. Grant got down there and got a piece of it. Something happened here. Referee, somebody's timeout. Oh, great timeout by Coach Rubior.
And we will take one as well. This is the Kelly & Associates Game of the Week, presented by FCA Lacrosse.
You got it.
The MIAA is the most competitive lacrosse conference in the country. The 2018 MIAA Lacrosse Semifinals and Championships will be held May 15th and 18th at Towson University's Johnny Unitas Stadium. For a glimpse into the future of the collegiate game, the MIAA, where the stars of tomorrow play for a championship today.
Under Armour All-American Senior Boys Wave 1 three guys we've already seen so far this year. Joey Epstein, impressed with him out of Landon. Matt Brandow continues to amaze me every time I see him with different nuances of his game. And, of course, Jacob Kelly, we saw him on Tuesday. He can play in the cold weather and the hot weather.
We talked Tuesday, Booker. All three of those guys we've had on the air already this year, and they're a pleasure to watch. We're just looking down the street at the Gilman Boys Latin game. It was 6-6 going into the fourth quarter, and BL scored 2 goals to start the fourth quarter to take an 8-6 lead. McDonough and Severn, it was 3-2 McDonough at the end of the first quarter, and we haven't seen an update since then.
Chorus throws it back. Ball goes on the ground.
Oh, that's going to be an illegal procedure on St. Paul's. It's a bummer. They got the ball in their stick, and number 5 threw a check.
Unknowingly, and Mason Woodward was off to the races, and it just adds, again, second chance possessions.
Second chances. The famous line about them, Booker, is they always come back to kill you.
Connor Hume near side. Gets it up to Robbie Olson, number 22. I love his game. Olson splits right to right. Little hobbled. Some nice defense there by Mark Bruce. Mark Bruce plays for that Loonies 2019 team. Mark Bruce, a fantastic athlete, and I'm just thrilled with his development as a player. Good to see him out there today. Number 20 for St. Paul's playing the crease, ready to slide.
Referees will probably be reasonably quick to put the shot clock on. They're going to get a shot here. How about that?
Liam Bateman, he's making a case for being the Under Armour underclass player of the game.
I think he might have sealed his case right there. His fourth goal, very similar to his last shot placement-wise. Really good play by Olson. He draws somebody to him. Bateman steps. Look at it, went to the exact same spot and went for his fourth goal.
Hey, Bob.
His third goal, excuse me.
I think Jamie Grant, the goaltender for St. Paul's, I think he's weak if you sting it down in that low left corner. What goalie is it?
Especially when it's got some pace.
Yeah, shoot it hard down in the low off-stick corner. Like, yeah, you'll score on anybody.
Well, this game is all about possessions for Loyola.
Frankie Habney taking the face-off now.
Yeah, Loyola, St. Paul's has not done well at the face-off stripe. And Loyola, this is Sarasola, who's
and they're going to say turn, no
another
push.
timely timeout by Coach Rubior. He wants to keep possession. 5:24 left, holding on to a 5-goal lead.
Thunder Bay Apparel is the hottest lacrosse exclusive clothing line in the game. Thunder Bay's t-shirts and hats flash a little lacrosse lifestyle into your wardrobe. Thunder Bay's pigment dyed, ring-spun cotton t-shirts immediately feel like you've owned them for years because nobody wants to wear that other polyester fabric every day. Make sure you check out the new styles and designs. All you got to do is click on ThunderBayApparel.com.
Great moment to thank some of our sponsors here. The Valley Inn, the new and improved Valley Inn, is the place to be. Be sure to stop in for lunch, dinner, or happy hour. The Valley Inn also shows all MIAA Game League broadcasts in their bar, so come check it out. Check out their Valley Room upstairs with a patio. It's beautiful out there. The Columbia Bank, banking made easy. Proud to be the official bank of MIAA Lacrosse. And, of course, Towson Hot Bagels and Toyota. Loyola possession, they lead 9-4 in a big game for both teams.
Takari Clark, a new guy on the field for Loyola, number 16, playing with Lancaster and Dixon. Coach Rubior running in somebody that hadn't been on the field yet. He's done the same down at the defensive end. Brendan Knott was not on earlier in the game.
St. Paul's looking to press out a little bit, maybe pick off a pass. There's a shot clock warning coming any second. I mean, let's be honest.
These St. Paul's kids are gassed on the defensive end of the field.
And 30 seconds to shoot for Loyola.
And when you're tired, guess what you do, Brooker? You make mistakes. you make them usually both ways, mentally and physically. You know, you forget to talk. You're not moving with the same step that you did before. Jamie Grant's been a one-man show down there. He's had a really good game in tough situations because he's been under duress.
Aiden Carey with the swim move, and now he gets it up to Nick Hatney.
Look at Loyola, done it the whole game. They've dominated the middle of the field using their athleticism to put the ball on the ground. Ooh.
And that
is going to be a penalty on Nick Hatney.
It is, you know, I don't know if I call it.
I think.
I don't.
Just a frustration foul. You know, Nick's played a good game. He's been on defense a lot. They just failed to clear. The ball got checked out of his stick. He's trying to make a play. A little frustrated, I think, and rightfully so. Here it is. Yeah, here it comes. Yeah, that's a clear-cut push from the rear.
My man from East Coast dies down there on the sideline. Greg Kennelly. Here's Bateman, front runner for Under Armour Underclass Player of the Game. Go to UnderArmourLacrosse.com. And, of course, rep your region. Go to UnderArmourLacrosse.com and check out the new shirts they're selling. Make sure you try and rep your region. Win supremacy of that underclass tournament. And, of course, play against the most talented kids in your region by trying out for the Under Armour Underclass. This Man Up brought to you by Towson Hot Bagels.
Man Up is over. They should get a shot clock warning right away. They did nothing, which is in their right. There's no shot clock violations if you're up a man or down a man.
The clock squeaks down to the 3-minute mark. Alex Reed, shot goal, driving hard. Unleashing anger.
Well, they put him down on attack for a reason. He's got good legs, left-handed, gives them balance on the offensive end of the field. He's playing against a shorty. They slide a little bit, but it's shorty to shorty slide. And Reed gets to his strong hand. Look, shorty to shorty slide. They kind of guilty of extending. They went to where he was, not where he was about to be. You know, it's a standard kind of problem for a defensive guy as he's rushing in on somebody.
Another face-off win for Will Chorus.
It's all the Dons.
They have some great face-off guys. Will Whitstadt's a great little face-off guy. Christian Tacchetti, number 41, nice face-off guy. Thrilled to have our crew here today to show this one on a Friday afternoon. A little Friday afternoon lacrosse for you, Bob.
Love it.
Spin by the Valley Inn. Post-game, get one of their salads.
You can't get in the parking lot.
I told Teddy Bauer if he sponsors this, he's going to have to expand his parking lot.
It's so crowded. I drive by the Valley Inn every day going to school and coming home from school.
I hope it's not crowded on the way, too.
It's not. But the trucks are putting in some supplies.
Yeah, yes, they are. Liam Bateman.
Number is, that's a pretty easy pick.
Oh, no, you didn't. If you will it, it is no dream.
Well, that was the play of the game. Bresci just picks up
that was Connor Hume, number 6.
Excuse me, Colin Hume. He just picks up this loose ball. Watch for the placement. Oh, gee whiz. Low to high. So much fun to watch when these kids with their amazing sticks pull one off.
That is Taco Bell filthy.
And here comes Loyola Major League substitutions.
Yep.
Although I have not seen a change in the goal yet. I know you were hoping number 31 was coming in.
Now in on attack, I got number 18 for Loyola.
I'm sorry,
Bennett.
The player of the game, though, is clearly Liam Bateman. 4 goals. He scored the first 2. He scored a couple big goals here in the fourth quarter. Number 4. He started the scoring for Loyola, and he sort of finished it off here with 2 nice goals in the fourth quarter. Bookends.
Giaiosio. And here's Lancaster sharing it with Olson and Dixon. Coach Rubio subbing some of his D guys out as well. Ian Takis now into the game, and here comes Woodward. Mason Woodward coming down.
There's Lancaster chasing He lost the ball, but did a nice job chasing it back. Woodward with a good ground ball, an effective clear. Booker, I'm not kidding you. How many times St. Paul's been on offense this half?
Not many.
And
there's a quick goal conversion, 77. Grant Matthews. With 1:04 left, they get their 5th goal of the game. Matthews, nice little cut to the inside. The junior. Here's a replay, Bob. It's just nice team lacrosse.
Good cut, really nice feed.
Grant Ament with the feed, and Matthews.
Defensive midi Spencer Hall with a nice feed, showing some offensive skills.
Another face-off win. Face-off win and a shot on goal.
Yeah, Matthews almost made another great play by intercepting that pass back to the goalie. Bresci with the ball. They start pressing out. Bresci can take them for a run around the park.
Liam Bateman, he doesn't know he's already been awarded with Player of the Game honors, but he went down low to make sure that ball. These guys know, seniors know this is their last chance. They got to make something happen, and they have the ability.
Good job by St. Paul's, effectively double teaming, getting that ball on the ground. See if they can't get one last little push at the goal. Cabral's got great legs. 10, 9.
Cabral pushes it inside.
Tried to find Matthews.
Takis comes up with it and looks to ice it. And that will do it. The Don Diegos make it happen.
Booker.
Player of the game, Liam Bateman. Yes, Bob.
Sorry, but Coach Rubior said he spent the last 3 days, they're on spring break.
Oh, yeah.
He said he spent the last 3 days watching film and trying to figure it out after their loss to Spalding. They were ready to go today. This is St. Paul's first MIAA contest, so subtly, it's a different animal. League started. Loyola's played one, understands the intensity that you need to be successful. For the St. Paul's guys, this will be a good learning experience for them going into the rest of their schedule.
And now they have a feel for that MIAA game intensity. They certainly do. But Loyola Blakefield coming out on the top of this one, 11-5 for Invicta. My good friend Bob Shriver from Dan Aburn from Inside Lacrosse, Gary Adornato from Varsity Sports Network. I'm Booker Corrigan reminding you, you only get one shot at today. We'll be back with my interview of Liam Bateman when we return.
The MIAA is the most competitive lacrosse conference in the country. The 2018 MIAA Lacrosse Semifinals and Championships will be held May 15th and 18th at Towson University's Johnny Unitas Stadium. For a glimpse into the future of the collegiate game, the MIAA, where the stars of tomorrow play for a championship today.
Kelly & Associates Insurance Group and Kelly Payroll helps employers and employees save time, money, and hassle in navigating the intricacies of insurance, benefits, payroll, and workforce challenges. Kelly & Associates Insurance Group and Kelly Payroll is pleased to support CSE TV and the Game of the Week. Visit kellyway.com to put their people, technology, and services to work for you.
Great news! Corrigan Sports Enterprises and Inside Lacrosse are pleased to announce that registration is open for coaches to nominate their most deserving seniors to be Under Armour All-Americans. Underclass tryout registration is also open, and we've added a new region, the Connecticut-New York region. For information and to register, grad years from 2019 to 2022 need to go to UnderArmourLacrosse.com.
Thunder Bay Apparel is the hottest lacrosse-exclusive clothing line in the game. Thunder Bay's t-shirts and hats flash a little lacrosse lifestyle into your wardrobe. Thunder Bay's pigment-dyed, ring-spun cotton t-shirts immediately feel like you've owned them for years because nobody wants to wear that other polyester fabric every day. Make sure you check out the new styles and designs. All you got to do is click on ThunderBayApparel.com.
The Under Armour Tryouts remain the premier recruiting event of the summer for high school players looking to be seen by college coaches at every level. Step up and measure yourself against the best players in your region. Register at UnderArmourLacrosse.com. The Summer Rumble is headed back to Richmond June 9th and 10th, and we are now a U.S. Lacrosse National Qualifier and sanctioned event. The Rumble brings together a wealth of top talent from the best club programs at the amazing River City Sportsplex with their 12 lighted turf fields. As a U.S. Lacrosse sanctioned event, you can expect the highest quality tournament regarding operations, safety, and experience. Go to cselax.com for information and to register now.
The June 2nd Baltimore 10 Miler always has awesome premiums, and it will once again start and finish right at the Maryland Zoo in Baltimore. Join over 5,000 runners in the region's premier 10-mile race. The course winds through Druid Hill Park, a lap around scenic Lake Montebello, and alongside the campus of Johns Hopkins. The course runs up and down historic 33rd Street, where you might pull off a miracle of your own. Sign up now at baltimore10miler.com.
Here we go. The Loyola Dons take down the St. Paul's Crusaders. Your Under Armour underclass player of the game, Liam Bateman. Liam, how did Loyola feel coming into today?
Well, we had a tough loss against Spalding earlier in the week, so we were really just focused on getting out there, getting a lot of ground balls, and playing our hardest all day. So I think that's what we did well today.
What was the difference in the team coming into today as opposed to coming into Spalding on Tuesday?
Well, it was our first MIAA game, and I think we weren't really prepared for how tough the league really is. So I think we prepared really hard all week, just, came in with a different mindset about really wanting to focus hard and play hard, and I think we did that well today.
So tell me, you guys have been on spring break all week. How hard is that? Is it easier coming out of class or coming from home to come to a lacrosse game?
I think it's a lot easier coming out of class because, the tendency is to sleep in during spring break, and maybe we'll get a little bit more tired. So I think it's easier to come out after school when you're already been awake for a while.
I got to tell you, I agree 100%, Liam. Now let's talk about today. 4 goals. You're number 4. Any magic there? No.
No, I'm
making something out of nothing.
Yeah, I'm sure when I look back at the film, it really wasn't me scoring all the goals. It was guys like Alex Bresci giving me good picks. Robbie Olson had assists, I think, and it's really the offense is moving really well, allowing me to get my shots.
One of the captains of the team, he's giving all his guys the shout-outs. That's what breeds that team chemistry. How's Loyola feeling after this win? What's the temperature on the sideline right now?
It's really great. You obviously feel a lot better after a win, so hopefully we can keep this energy rolling into next week.
And you're headed to Loyola. I like to call it Loyola College. I'm old. I'm 52 years old. I got a double chin. But it's Loyola University. Yeah. How do you feel about your grades right now? You got good grades?
I do. Yeah, I've already been accepted to Loyola University, so.
That doesn't mean you can't stop taking class.
Yeah, I'm definitely focused on school, so, yeah.
And Liam, proper grammar never takes a vacation.
Correct.
Thank you. Liam Bateman, your Under Armour underclass player of the game. Go to UnderArmourLacrosse.com and check out the new Rep Your Region shirts. They are phenomenal. Liam Bateman, player of the game. He definitely played better than I did today.